Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. This is such a great opportunity to learn more about the college preparation process as a middle school student. So for all of my students here and my parents and caregivers, we are happy to see you. My name is Brianna Jones, and I am a 7th grade English teacher. I also have Cynthia Hammond Davis here, college counselor, as well as Centania Somerville, career advising cluster lead. So before we get started, we are going to take a moment to talk about a fun and exciting program that is brand new to Montgomery County Public Schools, and it is called Montgomery County Career Advising Program. So I'm going to turn it over to Centania to tell us a little bit more.
So as a career cluster lead, I have the esteemed opportunity to work with career coaches that are now in all middle schools, working with our 6th grade students, and our second cohort will deploy in high school, working with 9th grade students. This is a partnership between Montgomery County Public Schools, WorkSource Montgomery, Montgomery College, and the universities at Shady Grove. This initiative is to help K through 12th grade students better understand the workforce, match your own skills to careers, and achieve their educational and post-secondary options. They will explore their interests, their values in order to pursue a more intentional life after graduation. The WorkSource Montgomery Career Advising Coaches will assist, especially now, our middle school 6th graders, introducing them to a common career language using what is known as the Holland theory, or as we call it that we're using with MCPS, it's the RIASEC theme. Now, on your tables, there is a sheet that explains what that is. It looks like this. This is the wheel that you see. So oftentimes, it's easy for students to understand if they're realistic, they're doers. If they're investigative, they're thinkers. If they're artistic, they're creators. And I know we know a lot about that with TikTok, okay? If they're social, they're helpers. And I can tell you that the 3 of us here probably have an S as part of our themes. Enterprising, those are our entrepreneurs, those that are persuaders. And then finally, individuals who are conventional or organizers. So what is the purpose of being able to articulate who you are and what you may want to do based on your skills, your values, and your interests? Well, I'm glad that you're here today because MoCo CAP will actually assist you in this post-secondary decision you have to make. And you joining us this evening as part of this financial aid workshop gives you an advantage because you're going to plan for the financial aid side of a career or going to college. So I'm going to turn that over now to Ms. Hammond Davis.
All right. Now, one thing is important. College is expensive. So we're going to talk about different ways that you can plan now and get ready for those huge scholarships that are available at the colleges. So again, college is expensive, and you will need some type of scholarship money, but you need a plan of action. So we're going to show you how strategically plan now to be a candidate for the big scholarships that are available and renewable every year at the college. So parents need to plan ahead by knowing what your expected family income will be, how much they are expecting the parents to pay. And it's also called a student aid index now. So we are going to play a game. This game is called the admissions game. Now, I need all of you to put on your admissions representative hat. Now, you are the representative of a college, and you have 5 students who are trying to get the last 3 spots in your college. All right, so I am going to explain to you who those 5 students are, and then you have the opportunity to figure out who you will choose those 3 students to be. Let's talk about Dennis. Dennis has a 3.9 GPA. That means he's got pretty much all A's. 1450 on the SAT. How high is the SAT? You can get up to 1600. So this is high for him. So let's talk about his background. Dennis is a serious and dedicated student. His studies are very important to him. He has worked extremely hard in school, and because of this, he has not participated in many extracurricular activities. Both of his parents have college degrees and have encouraged and supported Dennis's efforts. Since Dennis met his high school requirements for graduation, he decided to drop a couple of his classes, including math, his senior year, so that he could have a half-day schedule. That's Dennis. Next, we have Randall. Randall has a 2.65 GPA, so some B's and some C's, okay? Now he got a 3.45 in his junior year, so those were mostly B's, all right? And then he got a 1,000 on the SAT. What did I say the highest score for the SAT? 1,600, right. Okay, so let's listen to the background of Randall. Randall started hanging out with the wrong crowd of people. In his 10th grade year, Randall's counselor saw his potential and started encouraging him to do better. He turned his life around and is now working extremely hard to not only graduate from high school, but also attend college. Randall's file contains numerous letters of recommendation from his teacher, counselor, and the homeless shelter staff where he volunteers weekly. That's Randall. Now we have Olivia. Olivia has a 3.55 GPA, pretty much all A's. She has a 1,400 on the SAT, and that high score is the top score? 1,600, right? Okay, you all are listening. Wonderful. Okay, so Olivia has always earned very high grades and has been actively involved in school and extracurricular activities. She is the captain of the Women in Engineering Society group at her high school, and her team won first place in the National Robotics Competition. Olivia is in her 2nd term as student body president. She also started a peer tutoring program at her school. That's Olivia. Next, we have Ronald. Ronald has a 3-point GPA, probably all B's, okay? 10, 20 on the SATs, and I don't have to tell you now, you all remember the top score. Okay, Ronald's father died when he was 7 years old. He helps his mother take care of the house and his 2 younger siblings. He works 20 hours a week at a shoe store to help provide for his family. He has been captain of his school's soccer team for the past 2 years and has several NCAA Division I colleges recruiting him. Because of his limited free time, Ronald has to balance work, school, and family. That's Ronald. Next, we have Dana. Dana has a 3.5 GPA, pretty much all A's, well, B's and some A's, 1450 on the SAT. All right. Okay, Dana was in 7th grade when her family immigrated to the United States. Her family came as farm workers and did not speak English when they first arrived. She will be graduating in June and wants to go to college. Her family and many of the farm workers depend on Dana to translate for them. She also works weekends and evenings to help support her family. That's Dana. All right, we are going to give you a few minutes to decide who the 3 students will be to take those last 3 slots in your school from the 5 we talked about. Dennis, high achieving. Randall turned his life around and overcame some obstacles. Olivia, engineering student, community service and extracurriculars. Ronald worked to help his family, and he's on the soccer team. Dana, immigrant family, comes from an immigrant family, farm workers, and worked to support her family. We'll give you about 15 seconds, and then we'll start asking, who did you choose?
We have some great options up here. Can't wait to hear who you decide on. Remember, you can select 3 students, okay? I want to make sure everyone's participating. About 5 more seconds. Okay. So we have our contestants here. Remember, you are the admissions counselors for the university. You have a lot of responsibility, okay? So raise your hand if you are voting for Dennis. Remember, you got 3 students that you can admit to the university. So raise them high, let's see, so I can count. Okay, help me count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, a good amount of people for Dennis. And then Randall. Randall's the one, he had a rocky start at the beginning, but he's turned his life around. He got better grades. Raise them high for Randall. Okay, now it's kind of looking like a tie. Okay, now we have a little bit more for Randall. Olivia, engineering student. Okay, we have a lot of people for Team Olivia. A whole lot of people. Community service, extracurricular, she's really involved. Okay, so it's looking like Randall and Olivia right now are in the lead. Ronald. Remember, he lost his father. He works to help his family. He's on the soccer team. Raise them high for Ronald. Now, I can't vote for everybody. Okay. All right. Then finally, Dana. Who's Team Dana? Okay. So help me out. Who do we think? It looks like Ronald was definitely one. It looks like Olivia and Randall. So those are our 3. It looks like our top 3. So if you were Team Ronald or Randall, Olivia, and Ronald, good job. You got your people admitted. Good job. Okay. So keep those people in mind because we're going to come back to them later on.
All right, but the truth of the matter is all of these students are ready for college and they will get into a college. This particular college only needed 3 more because they had filled their application pool, but all of these students are college ready. One thing I want to say about Dennis that kind of turns some of the college representatives' heads a little bit and maybe say, Dennis decided that he was going to drop math in his senior year. That is a no. He also decided that he was going to drop most of his classes so that he would have a half-day schedule. Unless you are working or unless you have an internship, or unless there is some extenuating circumstances, you will need to be in school full-time. Okay? So that's just to let you know a little bit. So let's just talk about all colleges are looking for specific students. So what are colleges looking for in prospective students? So they're looking for students who are sound in their academics. That's going to be number one. Academics, okay? Outside of the classroom, what are you doing outside of the classroom? Extracurricular activities. So you remember Dennis and Olivia, they had extracurricular activities, good grades. All right. Also, if you are sports, anyone interested in sports? So sometimes there are colleges that will have sports available, and some of them will provide scholarships for that. Also, students sometimes will have a chance to, everybody has mistakes. Some students have hiccups, like Randall. But Randall turned his life around. There's a lot of colleges that will give Randall a chance. There are a lot of colleges that will have academic achievement programs and extra student support for someone like Randall to come in to help. So yes, he is a student who could get into college, even to the University of Maryland College Park, that has a very popular program called the Academic Achievement Program. All right, so scholarship opportunities are available for students who are immigrants. So students who, this is their second language, they haven't been here a lot, they need to apply as well because there are scholarships available for specific students. A lot of colleges will have a need, and they're trying to find that need for their particular college. So it's always good to make sure that you are doing a lot of things, and the first day you walk into 9th grade, you start your transcript for high school. Every day is important. Okay, so what do you have to offer colleges, and what are they looking for? Okay, so that is going to be very important for you to know now. When you get to high school, playtime is over. The first day is starting your academics, making sure that you are getting acclimated or making sure that you are getting used to your courses. Eventually, you're going to start participating in extracurricular activities, community service. You see all of the things that the students did. Remember why you chose who you chose. Okay, that's going to be important. Okay, so here's the game plan. Great grades. Make sure you are doing the best you can. A lot of the high schools will have extra help, tutoring, things like that. If you are struggling in a class, make sure you are asking for support. Your teachers are the best people to help you if you are struggling. If you are excelling and doing well, talk about that too, because they may tell you to challenge yourself with an honors class or something that we call AP, Advanced Placement. Community service, again, is very important. It's not always the number of hours that you're doing, but the quality of the community service that you're doing, how you made a difference, how you made someone feel, how you can talk about that. Because the colleges are saying, if you're doing this in high school, we know you're going to bring that same character to our school and represent us well in the community. Also, in-school activities, whatever is available, whatever you're interested in, make sure that you are also doing that as well. There will be times for summer enrichment programs. We talk about that a lot. Some of you are probably in some summer enrichment programs. Make sure that continues when you get into high school. Okay, so it's important for students, colleges are looking for students to represent them on and off the campus. You know, we just watched the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs won, right? And so one of the times in the game, they talk about the players. So they'll say their name, and I don't know anybody's name, okay, on the Chiefs, so I'm just going to say Joe Smo, Mississippi State. John Doe, Kansas State. So-and-so, the Ohio State University. What is that doing? It is showing the representation of that college. And that college is excited because now they know that people are going to come to their college because these students came to their college. So what can you do now, right, to make sure that you have the skills and the ability to be the students that those colleges want to have on their campuses? Okay, first generation. There's a lot of opportunities for students whose parents did not go to college. So most of the time in the application, you will have a question to say, are you the first student in your family to go to college? And sometimes there are scholarships available for those particular students. And remember, Randall overcame some obstacles. It's okay to talk about those obstacles in your essay. When you get to high school, you are going to have someone called a College and Career Information Coordinator. They work in the College and Career Center. And eventually, you're going to be working with that person and also your English teachers to help you build that essay and that resume for college.
All righty. So when we're talking about extracurricular activities, raise your hand if you know what that means. Okay. Now, when I talk about that, I'm not just saying SSL hours where you can do a poster and you get hours for that. We really want to encourage you to start doing things that get you into the community, get you active, right? Because Ms. Hammond-Davis just said, it's not about the quantity it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, right? So if you have an opportunity to just do this poster and you get hours for it, think about ways that you can enrich that and make that better, okay? Now, here we are talking about how does this all tie together. You've received a lot of information, so now I want you all to start thinking about how this applies to you, ways that you can put this into motion and into action now. So the first thing that we have here is academic rigor. So when I say the word academic rigor, I'm talking about the way you challenge yourself in the classroom, right? So even right now in middle school, you may have a few advanced classes, you may have some opportunities to do your work and then maybe go back and resubmit it later on. What we want you to do now is start to build those habits to where you are doing it the very best you can in the first place, so that way when you get to high school, it's already second nature. You don't have to take the time to get that in your mind because you're already thinking about that, okay? And then also thinking about financial need. Of course, college costs money. That's the reason why you're here at this workshop, okay? So all of the things that we're talking about is going to play a role for you to find a way to fund college, okay? It's not going to be a matter of, oh, I want to go here, so it's just going to happen. You have to put your effort forward in order to make that possible. This is how it all ties together. And then you all bring something special and unique to the table. You all have your own personal gifts that make you special and that make you stand out. When it's time for you to apply to college, don't try to just, hide that or not talk about it. Let that shine, because that's what's going to make you stand out. Remember, you were the admissions counselors not too long ago, and you had the different students that were applying. You had to come up with the things that make you stand out right there on your resume and on your application. And then finally, teamwork makes the dream work. So it's important for you to work with the adults in your lives and your teachers, and to make sure that you have good friends around you to support you in this process, because at the end of the day, it is going to be you who is applying to the university. All right. And then here, this is just a screenshot of something called the net price calculator. So the net price calculator is a tool that allows for you to have an understanding of exactly how much it's going to cost for you to attend a university. There are a lot of elements that come into that, and this screenshot right here, go ahead and take a screenshot or use this QR code. This is going to take you directly to a website that will allow for you to search the net price calculator for whatever university you enter into the search bar, okay? So once again, this is going to give you an estimate so that you just kind of know a ballpark of what that amount and that price is going to cost to attend the university. Okay, so raise your hand again if you're interested in sports. Raise them high for me. Okay. So if you're interested in sports, there are opportunities available for you to get scholarships for your athletic abilities, okay? Now, I always tell this story to my students. Even if you are athletically inclined, those coaches, they might go to your high school, and they might talk to your college and career information coordinator, your counselor, your teacher, and say, you know, how is Johnny in class? What kind of student is he? If they say, well, you know what, he's great out there on the field, but in class, he talks a lot, or he doesn't really turn his work in on time. Those are things that they're going to want to see, because the way that you conduct yourself in class will play a role in how you may be able to get that scholarship. So make sure that you're building and developing all areas of you, not just your athletic side, but also your academic side. Now, on the screen, you see 3 divisions, Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. Division 1 and Division 2, they do offer scholarships to students. However, Division 3 does not offer scholarships, but it's still going to be a great opportunity if you're really, really passionate about the sports that you play. And then here is the NCAA College-Bound Student Athletic Guide. Once again, it's an opportunity for you to scan the QR code and just get some more information. This is up to date and current for this year, just so you can see the information that is applicable and available for you. Alrighty, so we're back at it. We have our contestants. You all voted for Randall, Olivia, and Ronald. All right, so those are 3. We narrowed it down. But now you've become the financial aid person, okay? Universities, they have someone that gives out scholarship money to students. So you essentially pass those names off to the financial aid person. That's now you, and you have $30,000 to give to those 3 students in scholarship money. Now, once again, here they are, right there in the middle. Randall turned his life around. He started off a little rocky, but it shows you that if you put your mind to it, you can overcome it, and you're in college now. You have Olivia. She's always into her extracurricular activities, engineering, student community service activities. And then we have Ronald, works to help his family on the soccer team. So your question is, how much money do you want to give each of these students? You have $30,000. So let me just throw out some options that seem to be popular. We could give, raise your hand if you want to give every student, just divide it up equally. 10K, 10,000 to each student. Okay, so y'all are a tough crowd. We only have a few people that want to divide it equally. Do we have any ideas of how we want to split this up? Do we want to give maybe 5,000 to one student? Yeah, that's, okay, we already see 5,000. Who do you want to give the 5,000 to? Dennis. Well, Dennis isn't one of our people. We have to pick from Randall, Olivia, and Ronald. Okay, we'll go with, okay, so that's one option. What other options do we want to do? Yes, what's your? Okay, 15,000 for Ronald. Okay, so we have 15,000 for Ronald. And so that means we can go ahead and give, do we want to give Olivia $10,000 or Randall $10,000? And that means we would have, what do you think? Randall 10,000? Okay, so that means if that's our final vote, we're going to go with it. Ronald gets 15,000. I know your face is like, that doesn't sound right. 15,000 for Ronald. Randall gets 10,000. And then that means Olivia will get 5,000. Do we like that? Okay, well then, you know what? I want you all to work on your papers, write down what you think it needs to be. But right now, whatever you decide, that's what you get to determine, because you're the one that's the financial aid expert, okay? But this just gets your mind thinking about what that process will look like. There will literally be a group of people that determine how much money each student can get. So you wanna make sure that whatever is on the paper for you will help you get the most amount of money. But that is just lets you see, have an insight and a glimpse as to what that process looks like. So thank you so much, amazing admissions counselors and financial aid experts. Okay, so when we talk about the cost of attendance, that is a big part, especially for the adults in here who are either gonna have to put a student through college or you've been there and done that, you know it costs some money, okay? So students, this is a way for you to wrap your heads around what that looks like. So there is something called tuition. Now tuition, when I say that word, that means the cost you will have to pay for your classes, okay? Then we have room and board. That is talking about your dorms. Your dorm room, you have a roommate, you have a meal plan, but that's not free, it costs money, okay? And then books and fees, they still actually print the books, you have to actually flip books, so you have to pay for those as well. And then transportation, whether you have a car, whether you are taking the bus or the metro, whatever it may be, you're gonna have to pay for that as well, so you have to factor that in. And then that big word down there, miscellaneous, that's just everything extra. So your toiletry, your hair care products, your clothes, everything that you need, or your snacks that you want to have in the room with you, you're going to have to pay for that. So now you're wrapping your head around exactly how much it's going to cost you to go to college. So the more scholarships you're able to achieve, the better you are to help offset this cost, right? So these are steps that you can take now to help the people in your life help you pay for college.
All right, now, I need you to do something for me, parents. Breathe in. Come on. Breathe out. So we said that college was expensive, right? Colleges are going up every year. Colleges are as high as $90,000 a year. Okay? So at some point, if you haven't done so already, and I would say make sure you're having this conversation every year, a heart-to-heart conversation with your child about how much you as the parent can contribute. The reason why I kept going like this, when that net price calculator QR code was showing, is that today you can go click on that, go to that link, put in the college's name, and see today how much the college would cost you if your child was a senior, how much they are asking at a minimum for parents to pay for college. Make sure you are drinking some nice warm tea, some honey, some juice, whatever, okay, so that you can start planning for college. Some of you already have, which is wonderful. You're going to have to continue to do that because every college expects the family to pay something. It's always quiet in the room when I say that. Okay, so you need a plan of action. We've given you the plan. This is how you prepare your students for those huge scholarships that are available every year at the college. We've given you the outline, and we'll continue to give you that when you get into high school, working with your counselors, working with your teachers, visiting the College and Career Center. You do not have to wait until your 12th grade to visit, all right? There are some things that you can get in your 9th grade year. They'll just give you a pamphlet called the Opportunities Handbook, and we'll talk about that in a second. But parents, you need a plan. Scholarships are available, but it may not be enough to give everyone a full ride. All right. So where are scholarships? Where can you locate them? So when you complete the college application, a lot of the colleges will provide you with merit-based scholarships. So those scholarships come directly from the college based on everything that you are bringing to the school. So who was the one that was it Olivia that had all of the Society of Women Engineers and all that? She would probably get a good a scholarship package because she has put in the hard work. So she and others may get some type of merit-based merit-based scholarships that may be renewable every year. So we see the letters that come in, the award letters or acceptance letters. Some of them will say, "Congratulations, Olivia. Because of your great leadership ability or whatever you've done in school, we're giving you the blah, blah scholarship." And that blah, blah scholarship is $25,000 for 4 years, totaling $100,000. That's exactly what the wording says. The next paragraph says, make sure that you complete the FAFSA form, the free application for federal student aid, because you may also qualify for some financial aid that way. So we talked about the college. We talked about the federal government. And then your state has money available for students. Your elected officials, you have a state senator, you have 3 elected officials in your district, they all have monies for students. Most of this money is available for students in their senior year and also through college. Also, you have local scholarships, your sororities, your fraternities, different stores and organizations. So there will be a time that students are going to be very busy, and parents can play a role in this too, help them fill out those applications, get them in, ask the teachers for the recommendation letters, the counselors, the transcripts, and get all that information in. So it's quite a bit. We're telling you this now to prepare you for what's coming ahead. Okay? All right, and so then there's national scholarships. That we will tell you about all those national scholarship websites, FastWeb, Scholarships Online, Scholly, and all of the others. But there is scholarship money available. However, there are a lot of students going to college, and it may not be enough, again, for everyone to get a full ride. So parents, make sure you are having that heart-to-heart conversation with your students. Please look at that net price calculator and have a plan. All right?
Now, we always like to say, and the best people sometimes to tell you what this journey will be like are those who have walked before you. So as there were graduating seniors from high school ask, if you had an opportunity, what would you tell an incoming freshman coming into high school? You all have had the benefit tonight of tremendous wisdom to prepare you in middle school for what you're going to face in high school. But from the mouth of a high school senior, seniors are leaving high school for the last time. You're entering the building for the first time. As they welcome you into the building, here is some of what they would say to you. It may seem like 4 years of high school is a lot, but time goes by fast. So be sure to make the most of it by joining clubs, being involved in community, and just having fun. There will be times when things get difficult, but just remember that sometimes you have to go through the tough times to arrive at your best times.
All righty. So now that we have that closing thought, that comment from a student who already has graduated from high school, they have sat in your spot, keep that in mind, okay? So now we're going to open up the floor for any questions. Do we have any questions? And we will bring the mic to you. Remember, there's, thank you, go ahead.
Hi, I would like to know what do admissions counselors, do they look at social media?
Great question. The answer to that is yes. So they will take a look at your social media. I know that that is something that students are just on all the time, but you have to be very careful and mindful that whatever you put out there is there forever. There's no way to get that back. So great questions, yes.
for scholarships. Oh. Never mind.
He doesn't want to ask.
I'm sure someone else is thinking the same question. We'd love to hear from the students.
You said the college recruitment process. What are the college, what is the college recruitment process?
Okay.
Okay, well, since I live with a Division I coach, I can tell you, the process is very tedious. And so my husband is a Division I coach, and it depends on the student. Students will reach out to him, but the first thing he'll do is talk with the coach, and then he'll ask for the student's transcript. And then he'll ask the student, are you planning to apply to the college? And then after the student has been admitted, the conversation starts again. So the student will have to be accepted to the college because you are student first, athlete second. So you have to have whatever that college is asking you to have as far as an academic, your grade point average. Now, the NCAA will have what they call a sliding scale. So you can have a certain GPA and maybe a certain SAT or ACT scores. Now, as you know, because of COVID, they've waived the SAT, but that may be coming back by the time you get to 12th grade. So you are probably going to have to take the SAT. So long story short, they are going to make sure that you are academically sound, make sure that you are going to be a student who are coming to their school. Then they will talk about money. Goes that way, okay? Yes. What sport is my husband? Well,
Wait, no, I mean like, what sport does your husband coach?
so he unfortunately, fortunately, girls. So he is a women's coach. Yes, and very few students know that bowling is an NCAA women's sport. And he is at a very prestigious college in DC. All right, next question. I'm not going to tell you where he is. All right.
I wanted to know, like, how important are your middle school grades?
Middle school grades. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So as a middle school teacher, I would say that they are important because they give you the experience of getting good grades, okay? So just think about if you had to go into high school and you never studied, you never actually tried on an assignment. Do you think it would be easy to be able to just all of a sudden like start getting A's and start getting good grades? No, it takes time for you to put forth the effort now. So I always remind students to make sure that you're giving your very best, making sure that you're writing complete and full sentences because it's giving you the practice that you need for your grades. So it's very, very important starting now because as soon as you walk into high school, those grades will be looked at by the admissions counselors. And as a former admissions counselor, trust me, they count from 9th grade all the way to your senior year.
Do you have a question?
Anyone on this level? Any parents have a question? We'll take questions from parents as well.
Is this information for like only HBCU colleges or for like all colleges?
All colleges. So this applies to all college and universities. Absolutely.
And some of you have asked some really good questions, but there is a resource that everyone has access to. It is free. It is called the Opportunities Preparing for College Guide and Workbook. We have all talked about having a plan as you move forward through this process. The Opportunities Guide breaks this down into digestive steps. The college application process is phase 1, and then you go through financial aid for phase 2, and then you have to make a decision. But before you get to all of that, in the rear of this book, there is actually, by grade level, a planning guide that you can download and use to walk you through the steps as to what you need to be doing throughout the process. So please scan the QR code. This is a free resource. You can download it and use this as part of that planning process. If those of you who may have access to your high school, your college and career coordinator in the high school also has paper copies, if you'd like those as well. But everything that we've talked about and discussed this evening is located in this Opportunities Guide and Workbook.
Any other questions? I did want to go back to, if I can find it, NCAA. So we had talked about some of the information about sports. Now, the NCAA, the National Clearinghouse, right? All students have to get approved through this organization. They have specific things that students have to have before they can play on the collegiate level. Number one, they have to make sure they are passing every grade in high school, all right? In that 9th grade year, they're going to say how many courses you have to have. 10th grade, how many courses you have to have, and then so on and so on. And then they will talk about how many the GPA that you have to bring in, your grade point average. And then they'll talk about the SATs. But there is a plan, and there are rules and regulations in order to play. So remember, I always tell students you need to be a beast in the classroom and a beast on the field. Student, athlete. Okay? Any other questions for us? We've got a few more minutes. No questions from parents? Okay. All right.
Well, we are going to put this QR code back up for you to scan, and then there's also some around the room for you to use as well. But this is just a brief survey for you to use. We really hope that you have enjoyed the information that has been shared with you and that you found it to be informative. If you have any questions that may be pending, please feel free to come down and ask us. We are more than happy to serve as a resource for you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.